Hey there guys, it's Rick UC here with AirgunWeb for UmarexUSA, and today we're going to take a look at the hammer. Now, we've already looked at this once when I kind of tethered it and just got some basic trigger time, but today we're going to do all the numbers I know you guys want to know about, so stay with us. Okay, so before we get started, definitely want to say thank you to UmarexUSA. They have a ton of great air guns to offer the whole air gunning community, brake barrels to PCPs, and we're talking small bore to large bore. This is a massive big bore PCPs, to a ton of very cool replica, one-to-one replica licensed stuff. They have a ton of very cool stuff, and you can check them out at www.umarexusa.com. If you're looking for some cool airgun stuff, definitely take a look. They got some great stuff to offer. So let's jump into this. Now, what we do with an old school airgun review is we talk numbers. We look at the details. And that's what I know the airgun enthusiast market, which a lot of you guys are, that's what you want to know. So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about trigger pull, for example. Trigger pull on the hammer is about 2 pounds. It fluctuated from 1 pound 15 ounces to 2 pound 2 ounces, so it's right in that range. So let's call it a 2 pound trigger. DB numbers. This thing is barks. I'm just telling you, it's got a bark to it. So you're going to see me in the shot footage. I'm wearing ear protection, and I would certainly recommend that. This gun topped out at 120 dB. So that's a lot of noise. Now that's right at the bench. At 50 yards, and some of you guys have been asking me, what's the noise at range? Well, we didn't get out to 100 yards. I know there's one guy in particular that wants to know what this sounds like at 100 yards. We're going to get to it. You probably can hear it on the audio today. We've got 30, 40 mile an hour winds that have come up, so we're doing the best we can today. But at 50 yards, you see about a 20 dB drop. So it went from 120 down to like 102.7. So, okay, 17 dB drop. So that means that while it is loud right here, it's going to be less loud for the game. It's certainly nowhere near like a firearm would be. So just keep that in mind. This is going to be much better noise-wise than a traditional firearm. Now let's talk about shot count, energy, all that kind of cool stuff. This gun gets 2 shots, maybe a third, maybe like a third like extra if you absolutely need it. But you've got 2 shots on the regulator, let's put it that way. Now, we're filling this to 4,500 PSI. That's where you get your 2 shots. If you don't get to 4,500, that second shot's it's going to fall off the reg. You're not going to get all you can out of it. First thing we did was sight in our scope. So I took 2 shots. Partly I was checking the chronograph, and you guys will see me hanging the chronograph on the end. I shot both ways, with it on here and without it. Let me just tell you, some people said that having the FX chronograph here would mess up the harmonics. It does not on this gun. Maybe on another gun it might, but on this one it made no difference. Okay, so the first 2 shots were high right. I adjusted the scope, and my next 2 shots were pretty much next to each other, a little bit low. I call that good. If I'm shooting at 50 yards, that's especially with this scope, because I'm zoomed in, I have digital zoom. It's tough to get super precise. ATN optics love them, but it's tough to get super precise, like paper shooting with these scopes, because I'm zooming in, I got a digital picture. You guys will see the footage, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so this thing at 50 yards, you can expect, I would say, anything between 1 to 2 inch consistent groups. And if you're hunting big game, whether it's hogs or deer, that's an absolute kill shot. You are absolutely in the good. I use this scope because I want to film my hunts. If you had a regular optic, you could probably get far more consistent accuracy than I'm going to get out of this, just the way it goes. This isn't a bench gun. If you're going to take this out and go bench shooting, you bought the wrong gun. This is for taking out in the field and taking game. Now, energy-wise, with the 320s, we're doing about 650 foot-pounds to around 600 foot-pounds. So depending on where your shot is, that first shot's about 650, second shot's around 600, depending on where it falls. That's a ton of energy, guys. That is just smoking hot energy on target. The thing that really is important if you're going to hunt with a big bore air gun is you got to really think about your flight time. From the time you pull the trigger to the time the projectile hits your game, the shorter you can make that, the better off you are, because the game's going to hear the shot before the round gets there. At 900 feet per second, that's way better than like some other big boards that are 700 or 650. Boy, you better be close, because the game's going to have way too much time to jump the shot. But at 950 feet per second, this could be a viable 100-yard gun. Now, I know that the trigger time I've got in so far, I've got some steel targets out there, and I can run the targets at 175 and 50 yards pretty much at will. So I know that I would probably be confident enough to take a 100-yard shot with a little more practice. And because of the velocity, I think it would be a high percentage shot. But if you're new to hunting with big bore air guns, if you can stay inside 50 yards, that's really going to be your sweet spot. Now, a couple other things I want to talk about. We've talked DB, we've talked shot count and velocity, energy, and accuracy. I do want to talk about safety, because last time when I was working with the gun, and I did get a bit of an email from Umarex that kind of slapped my knuckles a bit, so I want to correct something and show you guys the safety features again, but I want to kind of make sure you guys understand one particular thing about it. So this gun, when you go to shoot it, it has what I call the red zone, okay? This part here is the red zone. Air is going to escape out of this when you fire the gun. Much like you have a revolver, okay? If you have a revolver like this, you'd never shoot it like that. You'd never have any part of your person around this part of the cylinder. Gases are going to escape, and if you did this, you're going to get hurt. With this gun, you're going to have air escaping out of here, okay? It's just the way it is. It'd be nice if it didn't do it, but it does have that, just like a revolver does. You've got the projectile sits in the mag, it fires from the mag. So because of that, you've got air pushing out in the back, blowing the projectile out the front, air's going to come out the side, just the nature of the beast. You want to keep everything away from here. So I was talking about that last time. Just remember that. The thing I did that was a no-no, in here, they have many, many different safeties to prevent this gun from firing when you don't want it to. They have this nut here. If this nut is in, you can't even cock it. Impossible. Okay? If the mag's out, there's no projectile can go out, because the mag is the breech. Now, the one thing I did, and don't do this, okay? There's a plate in there. When you put the mag in, it depresses the plate. That's an additional safety. And I had put my hand in that hole to show you that plate. Don't ever put anything in there except the mag. I just want to be super clear about that and correct that error on my part. Okay, this is the red zone. You keep your fingers out of here. You only ever put the magazine in, and you be super safe about it. And lastly, on the safety side, they of course have a trigger safety, or a standard safety. So there's a lot of really good features on this gun. Let's get it here. That give you that multi-shot, that literally instant follow-up shot with a big bore, which in and of itself is very unique. Tremendous power, very, very safe, and it's a really fun gun to shoot. So guys, that's going to wrap it up. That was the old school airgun review here of the Umarex Hammer 50 cal. We are going to still do some more work with this. I want to get better with just my familiarity with the gun. I want to get really good with it, and I want to be able to shoot at 100 yards. So that's going to be my challenge, and that's what I'm going to be working on. And as I get there, I'm going to share those experiences with you guys. So guys, that's going to be it. My name is UmarexUSA here with AirgunWeb, your home for old school airgun reviews, and where we tell you the facts, not fluff. Thanks for watching.